Welcome to The Point. I'm your host, Eric Mitchell. It's been a crazy time in America. As we all know, election 2020, we already knew was going to be a circus shit show and a dumpster fire to go with the year that we had. We had no idea that the election would lead to a domestic terror attack on our nation's capital. Yes, the United States Capitol building was attacked on the day that they tried to certify the vote. They ended up doing it later in the evening, as we got to hear at 3:30 in the morning. Vice President Pence said, "We had it." But there was lots of debate as Senator Ted Cruz and everybody's favorite white supremacist, Senator Josh Hawley, fired up the Trump supporters, the terrorists, before they walked in. Now, their plan all along was to try to drag out the certification progress. Because if you remember in our last episode, we talked about the president hoping that his vice president would, not follow the Constitution.
There's no way we lost Georgia. There's no way. That was a rigged election. Your vote tomorrow will decide which party controls the United States Senate. The radical Democrats are trying to capture Georgia's Senate seats so they can wield unchecked, unrestrained, absolute power over every aspect of your lives. If the liberal Democrats take the Senate and the White House, and they're not taking this White House, we're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right now. And I hope Mike Pence comes through for us, I have to tell you. I hope that our great vice president comes through for us. He's a great guy. Of course, if he doesn't come through, I won't like him quite as much.
The president quickly learned that that wasn't going to be the case, as Vice President Pence and his chief of staff released a press release that stated that the vice president was going to do what he was lawfully sworn to do. Now, we all know that this guy's idea of excitement is, having sex with the lights on, because missionaries is thing, but the lights ons are rebellious. And so we knew Mike Pence, when he spoke out to the president, that would be the end of his relationship.
The announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected President and Vice President of the United States, each for the term beginning on the 20th day of January, 2021. The joint session having concluded pursuant to Senate Concurrent Resolution 1, 117th Congress, the chair declares the joint session dissolved.
We found out later that the chief of staff for the vice president had his key card turned off and hasn't been welcome in the White House. Like so many other people, President Trump's only way to deal with things is to fire them, scream at them, sleep with them. And I guess this guy wasn't attractive enough to sleep with the president, or wasn't drugged enough to sleep with him. We'll never know. But let's get back to the tale that is the terrorist attack. There was many things going on. There was a SoundCloud rappers bouncing around on stage talking about storming the gates. True story, I wish I made this up. So this band of idiots followed the advice of the President of the United States and stormed the United States Capitol building. I'm talking about Americans. I'm talking about people who walk around and call themselves patriots. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. This wasn't a foreign enemy attacking our country. No. This was average, everyday Americans. Like this guy who decided I should wear my employee badge while I break in and commit felonies in the federal building. Or this winner who's an attorney who decided he needed to live stream. Or these two fine white supremacists who, from Nancy Pelosi's office, decided this is the place to live stream. Or everybody's favorite, this douche canoe who, decided, hey, I'm going to put my feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Oh, and wait, take her mail. But let's not forget the poster child of white privilege, this douchebag. As these people attacked our capital, these terrorists, a woman was shot. A United States Air Force veteran, multiple deployments, apparently didn't learn anything during those deployments and somehow has become a martyr to these idiots who she was shot and killed by a member of our Secret Service as she had already broken into the Capitol and was trying to breach the chambers. Because the genius thing that you need to do when that happens is try to attack the Capitol that has the vice president-elect, the Senate, and the sitting Congress hanging out in chambers, being safe while you storm through, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's how it's played. She wasn't unarmed. She wasn't supposed to be there. She's been educated in the United States Air Force. So I'm sorry that happened. But that blood goes on Donald Trump's hands. No one else's but him. Now, back to where this gets interesting. Besides the fact that almost 98%, besides the shitty Spotify rappers that we talked about, who aren't on Spotify anymore, everyone else seemed to be white and out of shape. They all raided the Capitol. What was quickly concerning is the response, or lack thereof, of federal resources, police officers, the folks in charge of protecting the Capitol, the National Guard that the mayor of DC had activated. None of that was happening. These willy-nilly idiots broke in, but hey, they were responsible. They, stayed between the red velvet ropes when they were told to. Have you ever seen this before? Like, hey, we're going to go cause mischief and mayhem, but hey, we're going to stay between the ropes. These knuckleheads did this. Now, it was drastically different in what we were looking for in the response because, as we know, the President of the United States, in a moment of showing that he was the president, attacked peaceful protesters with gas and a charging riot squad so he could go take a photo op with a Bible that isn't his and upside down for a political stunt for an election that he would end up losing. But no. What we were expecting was what we saw in Portland, in Seattle, in Los Angeles, and Atlanta. National Guardsmen with their shield, flashbangs, and tear gas. You know what happens when social justice and years of racism takes over our country. But we didn't see that because white people seem to get a free pass. White privilege has its privilege, as this douchebag with the stand can share. He decided it was time to smile because only white people take selfies and stream live from the Capitol while they're committing federal offenses. That's right, breaking into the Capitol building is punishable by 10 years in prison, but not one of these white folks cared. That's right, because they didn't live in the fear that so many others in our community do. Because we know if you're standing up for Black Lives Matter or Antifa or anything that's not Trump and white, your ass is going to be in deep shit. That's right, because you're probably going to end up dead, or maybe somebody from DHS going to swoop up in an unmarked minivan and snatch you up and throw you in it because, ooh, you were talking back to the police. Or you could just be pulled over because, shit, you're black. Because we know we have cops that do that. And Matt Gaetz on the floor said it wasn't Trump supporters. He actually physically fucking said it was Antifa who dressed up in Trump supporter clothing. Say that again 4 times and your brain will explode. Just like Matt Gaetz's head has been put into a blender. Doesn't wear a mask and he's from the state of Florida that passes out COVID-19 like it's Johnny fucking Appleseed. But no, let's go back to this, because why is it so alarming that racism is alive and well in 2021, and I hope that President Biden and Kamala Harris, our vice president, step up to the plate and squash racism once and for all, because this is bullshit. Because if this had been black and brown, there would have been a drone strike, tanks, and every other damn thing within 10 minutes of this happening. 4.5 hours later is when law enforcement decided to show up. Well, the white folks were bored and they moved on, because that's what white folk do. They get bored, it's time for dinner, because God bless America, it's time for dinner. It's time to go. We committed. Let's head to the Olive Garden, grab some breadsticks, and talk about how we showed the man. We showed the man. We made President Trump proud. That's what they did. They brought in a Confederate flag, the first one ever to break the walls of our Capitol building. This is what happened. Racism, right in our faces, by the most racist people on the planet. I'm sorry, if you voted for Donald Trump and you're not a racist, this is not meant for you. But for you people who showed up at our Capitol building, you're dirty ass racist. You don't love our country. You hide under the word patriotism. I make shitty rap videos and wear a leather jacket with a flag on it to look like a fool. You think because you did something, you're a nobody. All of you are nobodies. You're nothing but domestic terrorists, and you will forever be marked. And I will make my personal mission to expose each and every person who thinks that there's some significant Trump influencer who made a rap about Joe Biden or wear a beanie on your stupid head and say you're somebody significant because you could do a TikTok video. No, you're a nobody. You made a song about attacking the United States Capitol and it happened. You performed in front of it. And everybody else who broke in and looted and rioted and took selfies, I hope you are fully punished to every extent of the law. And those people who lost their lives, well, you lost your lives. What's concerning is they found bombs, and nobody seems to blink an eye at finding bombs. But again, this wouldn't have happened. We should have had more black people show up. If we would have had some black and brown in this damn crowd, this would have been squashed in an hour. But it didn't. And that is the difference between the Trump party and everybody else. While the rest of us take racism very serious in America, Donald Trump and his merry band of racists don't. They don't want racism to stop. They hate Muslims as much as they hate black people. They hate Asians. They definitely hate the Chinese because they claim that COVID-19 is solely from China, and it's their fault. They also blame bad Mexican food on the Mexicans because they never built the wall. It kind of goes with Trump's healthcare plan that we've never seen. All of it is smoke and mirrors for a racist who damn well knows that he is. He told the Proud Boys to stand by and be proud. He's never denounced white supremacy. He thinks it's okay. And he kept the National Guard from coming to save the day. It took Vice President Mike Pence getting on the phone and going way over his head to be a big boy and call for help. And he did. While the president ate Cheetos and thought about what country he could corrupt or where his fat ass was going to go on January 20th when he's no longer the president and no longer welcome here. He's not welcome in New York. Florida barely wants his ass and nobody else does. He's not welcome anywhere. He's a failure. And at the end of the day, that's what he will be remembered about. A racist piece of shit, the worst president ever in our history. He should never utter the words and compare himself as the greatest thing to happen to black people since Abraham Lincoln. He is the biggest failure. I'm talking toe cheese is more successful than he is. This man is never going to be remembered as a good president. He does not deserve his face on Mount Rushmore. He doesn't even deserve a portrait. This man is an embarrassment that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans because he dropped the ball on COVID-19 because he was worried and compared everything to crowd size. Just like Stormy Daniels says about the size of other things that go with the president, this man is obsessed with the size of crowds. And just because 20,000 idiots show up at a super spreader event to catch COVID-19 and see your dumbass doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to vote for you. Because 81 million Americans disagreed. 81 million Americans watched as you called for your little trailer trash dumpster fire pieces of shit to attack our nation's capital. You will never be remembered as a president. You will go down in history as the first president to call a terrorist attack on his own people. That's who you are, Donald Trump. And for anybody who supports this terrorist act and tries to compare it to Black Lives Matter or, oh, look what happens when a police officer, that's right, when a cop shoots an innocent black man in the back and doesn't get charged. That's an episode that's coming in the near future. We're going to talk about reform and defund the police. I don't believe in defunding the police, but damn it, they need some training. I'm sick of hearing about black men being shot for just being black. I don't care what they've done. Everybody has rights. If you're going to treat Kyle Rittenhouse like he's some freaking savior, then everybody gets the same articles. That piece of shit should be picking up the soap and freaking walking with a limp right now. Instead, he's free because some stupid-ass veteran brand decided he needed to be out. I'm not holding punches in 2021 America. You either like it or you don't. But those of you who did like it, make sure you smash that subscribe button and stay tuned for other episodes. Also, make sure you follow us on social media because we love it when you do. Now, we have other episodes coming up this month and this year. This will probably be one of our last episodes covering the worst president in United States history, the terrorist leader known as Donald Trump. If you have suggestions that you think that we should be covering on shows, simply give us an email at hello@tothepointtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. Again, on behalf of our entire team here at To The Point, we want to say congratulations to President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Thank you for being able to speak in complete sentences, for saving our country and making a difference. It's been very pleasant since you become our president-elect and vice president-elect to hear you keep us calm. And we need that in our country because I'll end with this. We need to unify. We need to become one. But we will fight all of your hatred. We will. That's what America's good at. This isn't to every Trump supporter. My rage, my anger isn't directed towards you. You're more than welcome. But if you believe that those people who attacked, domestic terrorists attacked our nation's capital, you're not an American. You're certainly not a patriot. You don't belong here. You truly are a member of ISIS. You're a member of some hateful group that wants to kill Americans, like the people who attacked us on September 11th, 2001, like the failed terrorist attack at the first World Trade Center in 1993, like the cowards that killed the Marines in the Beirut bombings in the 80s. Those are terrorists. We should not have it on our home soil. That's what I leave you with this evening. Thank you so much for watching our show. On behalf of the entire team at To The Point, I'm Eric Mitchell. Be safe, be strong, be smart, and God bless America.